Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back to Hebrew Chosen Elect Sabbath class. Let me start giving all praise, glory, and honor Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Once again, Shalom all Israel. Hope everything is well with everybody. This Shabbat, we'll be picking up in the book of Esther, and instead of our usual reading in the book of Numbers, we're going to go into the Feast of Purim and the history of that feast in the Bible, book of Esther. So while everybody gets their books open to the book of Esther, we're going to be starting in chapter 2 for the purpose of trying to get through the whole, cover every aspect of the reading of Esther. We really can't just go through the entire book, verse 1, chapter 1 to the end. So we'll be starting at Esther chapter 2 right after these announcements. So like we always do, upcoming new moons and high holy days. We're in the month of March, so our next new moon will be March the 20th, being our true New Year's according to the Bible. The month of Abib, as the Bible calls it, the beginning of your months, the beginning of your year. That new moon, beginning of that month, the true New Year will be March the 20th at sundown. And that'll lead us into Passover. But before that, we have our upcoming feast day this week coming up, the Feast of Purim. The reason for the class today in the book of Esther, that will be March the 3rd at sundown and March 4th, it being a 2-day feast. So, if you'd like to celebrate with us, as I always say, you can get in contact with me, Brother Yakanan, or if you know someone else in the camp, get in contact and let us know you want to keep the feast with us, and we can get you squared away with the location and the time that we'll be getting together as a camp. But if you just keeping it on your own, it's the 3rd at sundown. That would be the start of the Feast of Purim. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday 3rd, Wednesday 4th. Then we got Passover coming up April the 3rd at sundown. We'll be keeping the Feast of Passover as a camp. April the 3rd. If you're an Israelite, you're invited. Whether you got another camp, or you're by yourself, or you follow us on Facebook or YouTube, you're invited to come keep the Feast of Passover with us. April 3rd, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. In Newcastle, Delaware. The address is on the screen. We do ask that all guests that aren't a part of the camp, please donate at least $20 per individual if you're coming solo, or maybe just you and your rib, each of y'all, 20 for each. And that's at least. If you can give more, give more. We pay for this venue and the lamb and everything, the decorations. We do that out of pocket. So, anything extra you can give would be appreciated, and then go towards, making this a great feast. If you're coming as a family, as a guest, at least donate $50. I always like to say, not required to attend if you don't got it. If you don't got it, but you want to come keep the feast with us, Hebrew Chosen Elect, still do so. But regardless, everybody RSVP. Also, all of us that's here every week, let's make sure we RSVP with me or Yakanan, just so we have a head count. Maybe you're bringing some family members that don't come all the time, or even if it's just y'all. That's so we know exactly the numbers. That way we get the right amount of lamb, right amount of drinks, food, you know. We can pre-plan how many tables we need decorated, all that stuff. So yeah, please RSVP if you want to attend the Passover. It's April 3rd, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. in Newcastle. The address is on the screen. And the Cash App for the donations, if you can't come in person and give cash, is # Hebrew Chosen Elect, which is always going across the bottom of the screen because we also take our regular camp donations there as well. So make sure if you're donating for Passover, make sure you earmark that Passover. If you're donating just for regular camp alms to help out with the ministry, just hashtag. Am I saying that right? Hashtag. Brain fart. Hashtag that camp alms. And throughout in advance for any donations that
what you mean earmark it?
Earmark it. That's what I thought. Earmark it. Passover or camp alms. Contact information. You can contact me at Facebook through We Are Israel or a phone at 302-510-7147. Or you can contact Yakanai on Facebook at Brandon Daniels or a phone at 508-840-7710. Also, if you're on Facebook and you'd like to join our group, we have a Facebook group called The Rise of the Chosen. Please also make sure you like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channels and content at ACE Red Pill Reality and ACE Reloaded. And with that, we'll go ahead and get into today's class. I had this set up, now I gotta fix it again. On the Feast of Purim, which we find the history of the Feast of Purim in the book of Esther and the Old Testament of our KJVs. So, Book of Esther, we'll be starting this reading to make sure we're able to go through everything at the second chapter and verse number 5. So everybody get the books open to Esther chapter 2, verse 5. And Yakanai, whenever you're ready.
The book of Esther, start reading that. Chapter 2, verse 5. Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with.
Real quick. Shushan is, who knows where Shushan is? And what captivity this is for Israel? Go ahead. Huh?
Babylon, right?
Babylon? No. Persia, right. And Shushan is the capital city of the kingdom of the Persians. So this is under the Persians. This is after Babylon. I mean, we kind of went from Babylon to the Persians took over Babylon, right? That's who defeated the Babylonians. The Babylonians took over from Assyria. They conquered the Assyrians. And the Persians, Medes, they conquered the Babylonians. And then who came after the Persians, Medes? The Greco-Roman, Macedonian, Edomite kingdom. So this is now it is still part of the Babylonian captivity. That's when we went into this captivity. But this is the Persians. They've taken over that captivity. No, the
Macedonians, the Greeks, same people.
Yeah, the Macedonians, that was the Greeks. Then the Romans, or at the same time the Romans. So, all right, so we at Shushan the palace. We got Mordecai, a Benjamite, and we're stop. Hey, what verse again? 6. Go ahead. So pick that back up. You got to.
Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, who Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away, and he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took from his own daughter.
So this is his cousin that he basically Mordecai raised up, right? And her name is Hadassah, and then it was changed to Esther. What's Hadassah mean? Let me check that real quick. You gotta have a seat. You're gonna be here. Sit down. Somebody gotta keep at least one of them at bay. What verse is that you read? 6, 7. Go over here. Stop. Do me a favor and keep them out of the way for this class, please.
So the Babylonians, y'all listening?
Yeah.
So Babylon was it was in the captivity of Babylon, and then the Medes and the Persians came into power after, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was like a different type of captivity with them, right? It wasn't like, was they still kind of free? They were still kind of free in the Mede and Persian captivity, right?
So what now?
They had like some sort of freedom in the Mede and Persian captivity, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like
the Romans.
It was kind of like America.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, they was living in the city.
Right.
You know, the lower class or whatever. Obviously, some people were able to make up higher in rank, kind of like just like you see today. Yeah, we had no rulership.
Yeah.
Everybody's subject, and in this still in captivity to the now the Persians, the same Babylonian captivity though. So remember, with the return from Babylon, that was only a small remnant. I'm not going to pull up the notes, but like I think the number was like 40,000 or less. So Israel, that's only a small little percentage of Israel returned. So like everybody was still in captivity, the same Babylonian captivity. Just now they've been living and multiplying and kind of assimilated into the society, right? So Hadassah, it means myrtle. So I thought it had like
It's a flower.
It's a flower. So either way, her name means myrtle. It's a flower. So, but she was called Esther. We can go back.
So it came, verse 8. So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan, the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the women.
And just since we didn't read it, quick, like rewind, recap. So chapter 1 goes into how the king had a wife. She was disobedient, disrespectful, and he had got counsel and decided he was going to divorce the queen, cut off the queen, and then he was going to gather all the fair virgins from all his provinces that he ruled, and he was going to find the one that best suited him to replace Queen Vashti, which is her name, and then be the queen. So this is going into Esther being brought into the king's house, into the custody of the eunuch and the keeper of the women, and she's going to be taking part of this like lottery, if you want to call it, or what they call it for the NFL. You hit the lottery or combine, right? Combine before the draft of these women, so he can choose the right one that he so has a liking for. So verse 9.
Verse 8. Oh, yeah. Verse 9. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. Esther had not showed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the women's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was to go to King Ahasuerus, after that, she had been 12 months according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished, to wit 6 months with oil or myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purification of the women. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house.
What verse are you at?
13. That's finished it.
So I don't got that on the screen, but what it's going over is, so back in ancient times that they would have kind of like when you in our law, you see a woman among the captives, you bring her into your house, and she has to, pare her nails and go through this purifying process. A lot of kingdoms, they had these same customs or similar for, when they took women as captives. Like, I don't know if anybody ever watched the show on Netflix, Marco Polo. Well, it goes through the kingdom of Genghis Khan, and he's got, not for the same purpose, he's not looking for a wife, but he has kind of like a stable of women too. And this, I think he calls it the house of not luxuries or pleasures. He has a house of pleasures, and in that house, it's all the women, the finest women he can find out, all the places he conquered, and basically his closest servants, like his best servants, he gives them like privilege to go there and get their fulfill their lust whenever they please. But before they get to this, get to be chosen for that house of pleasures, they go through a purifying process too. So that's something that you would do. Part of it would be putting off the customs of your past king, the land you're from, right? It also be like a cleansing. You don't want a bunch of dirty women, and so it's a purification process. That's what they're doing here in the Persian kingdom, right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. In the evening she went on the morrow, she returned into the second house of the women to custody of Shazgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted in her, and that she were called by name. Mm-hmm. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abiel, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing but what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into the house royale in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then the king made a great feast unto all the princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had not showed her kindred nor her people. as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
So Esther did what?
Kept the commandment of Mordecai.
Mordecai was her what again?
Cousin.
Her cousin. But he had raised her up. And it wasn't her father, it wasn't her husband, but she kept the commandments of Mordecai. What's that show?
Respect.
It shows respect, and it also shows the rank and file, not just with a man and wife, but as a nation with the level that men are on and the level that women are on inside a family as a whole. Women wasn't these animals we have today that want to buck up against every man that's not her father.
Salakia, it also shows even though it wasn't her father, it was her cousin, she didn't try to usurp authority over him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She took value on what he said. She took counsel of what her older cousin had instilled in her for the greater good of the people.
And understanding that it's the order that the Most High made. That, you know, men are different from women. Women are different from men. We are not on the same playing field and never have been. We didn't become on the same playing field until we got into these profane, fornicating, effeminate kingdoms like the one we're in today. The Roman kingdom, the Greco kingdom, the American kingdom. That's who instilled these ideas that what's it called? The feminist movement. That I can do what you can do. Well, how come you can't? How come if I dress up in a skirt and I enter your boxing ring, your Olympics, and on the women's side, I be knocking all y'all out. As gay as I can be, still be dropping them left and right.
Shoot, I've seen a lot of frustrated women during this snowstorm shoveling snow.
Shoveling snow. I thought so, but well, I can do what you can do. No, like equal importance, but not the same. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I've seen a couple of videos where wasn't no men there to clean off the windshield, and women took out and tried to pour some hot water on the windshield, and the windshield cracked. I've seen them videos too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you do need a man's guidance when it comes to things like that, because the man would have told you, "Don't you go out there and pour no boiling hot water on your windshield and watch that thing crack." Would have told you not to do that.
Yep. And then
you're causing it to shock, and then you made your windshield crack. Now you got to pay for a windshield.
And guess what? Here's the part that they don't like. You know, the ones in the world and the ones that are even in the truth and still worldly.
Mm-hmm.
We both still got to work. Unless I don't want you to work, we both still got to work. You still, even you working and bringing in a paycheck that might be more than mine, you're still subject to your husband. And if you don't believe that, what's a virtuous woman do?
She works willingly with her hands.
So do you want to be virtuous, godly, or do you want to be the opposite? Because that's what the opposite is. If the virtuous godly works with her hands, then the opposite that doesn't work or want to work, she's the opposite and she's not virtuous. She's ungodly.
So like it actually say that she got away because it say that a virtuous woman, she consider a field and buys it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
She don't. That's above working. That's making moves.
And sometimes she might have had more money than the man to do something like that. She could consider field and buying.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then they was growing grapes and stuff, and that was pretty much a form of currency. That was a form of status back then if you had grapes.
Yeah. A virtuous woman, is you find out, is the white girl from Hustle and Flow without the prostitution. Right? That's a virtuous woman. She went out there and she made it happen. That's what you read in Proverbs. She see if a field, she buy it. And guess what? When she buy that field, she don't be like, I got this, nigga. We got everything. You got what you got in my hands. No, so, you know, we see this. That's what we see with Esther. She respected the authority of Mordecai, her being the man that was above her and raised her up. And that's where she got instructions from. And that's who she was obedient to.
Salakia, and she didn't start doing her thing and try to boss Mordecai around either because of her status.
And we're gonna see that. Yep. She was still, we'll see, still respectful to Mordecai's authority as a queen, as not the number two, as the love of the life of the king of the earth at the time, the worldly, the earthly king.
Come.
We know the true king of the whole earth always been the Most High, but at the time, the king of the whole known world, she was his love, and still, we'll see, didn't get high-minded and prideful and think herself above her cousin. They raised her up. And a lot of black women, what they gonna do? They gonna turn on the whole family, get a little bit of position of power. I don't know if y'all seen. I don't know in depth, but I was just seeing like in the world, like Glorilla is beefing with her mom and sister and all that because now she got a little money.
That's not how that's going down.
Nah.
Sister beefing with her.
Oh, okay. Well, still, then I'm wrong on that one. But women do it though. They do it.
You seen it in the movie, 2 movies. I remember you can see it in Soul Food when Vanessa Williams' character got all the money. She tried to boss all her family around.
That's a good one.
You see it in Deliver Us from Evil. When Eva trying to boss her sisters around and stuff and their husbands and all that craziness because she didn't want the money.
Yep.
She was
scared.
They were scared of Evil.
Yeah. So and that's what the world gives us. But you see, when you open up the book and read, the proper example is you can be on top of the world, but if you're a woman, you need to have and show respect to the men that were put above you.
You see it in the movie Acrimony when she ain't listened to her husband, Taraji P. Henson. She ain't listened to her husband. She listened to her sisters. Her husband was downtrodden. He was the inventor. He was downtrodden. He had, I can't remember what he had invented, but he had invented something, and it took him years to get a patent. And he was just trying to perfect his invention. And his sisters didn't have no faith in him, but she had faith in him. And then he finally got his patent bought from a company, and then by the time he got the patent, he gave her everything that was owed to her, but he had left with another woman because she had listened to her sisters. And he gave her back her house in tenfold, but he still went on with this other woman. Then she was mad at the dude because you listened to your sisters.
And that's what happens. And then the end result of that is you 60, you alone, and you wishing you had a man. And you just grumpy all the time. You just unpleasant to be around. Everybody's like, hey, we ain't going to her house for the holidays. You ain't invite auntie whoever. You ain't invite her to the turkey dinner, did you? But that's what happens because of this worldly mind state of I don't gotta listen to no man. I don't gotta listen to you if you're my man. If you're not my man, I definitely ain't gotta listen to you. If you're not, and that whole attitude of you ain't my daddy. So,
and then personally, myself as testimony, I went through it myself. You know what I mean? I had a woman want to listen to her mother and her sister over me. So look where you at. Your sister done talked you out of your whole marriage, and now you back on your sister or your mother's couch.
Yeah. So
when it's like that, they still don't work.
Nope.
Yeah. So once again, we see this story is more than just a feast. It shows a proper example for the young sisters and the older sisters.
Yep, don't
be like Esther. Yeah, don't be like Vashti. Right. Be like Esther. Be like when you read about Judith, it was the same thing. That respect and reverence for the men. Right. So is that the end of that chapter?
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 3, verse 1.
Chapter 3, verse 1. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Ammon, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him.
And Haman is the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite. This is a refresher for everybody who might not realize it or remember. Agagites are who?
The Macedonians.
but they're who? The Edomites. They go back to King Agag.
Yes.
So we got Haman,
specifically the Amalekites.
The Amalekites, right? Who the Most High said he will have war with forever. So we got like one of the worst Edomite lineages here at play in this story.
The one that Saul was supposed to kill,
right? Yes.
Mm-hmm. And all the people. But he didn't do that.
Yeah, that's why they're here today.
Yeah, right. So this is one of the out of the worst lineage of the Bible. This is one of the worst lineages out of that lineage. So that's what we have here. Haman the Agagite, the Amalekite. Go ahead. And he's lifted up. There's no more profane a person than Esau. So profane was also part of that. Being prideful, everything that's against the Most High. So he's already a prideful Edomite. And now he's been advanced above everybody else in the kingdom. So he's really sitting on high, like Donald Trump today, right? Like your Donald Trumps, your George Bushes, all the your Epsteins, all the top Edomites that rule the world today. That's what we're looking at in this story, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ezekiel said he's the worst of all the heathens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the worst. He is, and we see it. He's worse than all the heathens. They going.
But are people trying to save him?
You. I don't know if I know you was watching it earlier, and y'all probably have seen it since, because this is what we into. But Donald Trump, he bombed Iran today. They saying, and he got on video and he was talking about it. Really sitting on his high horse about it, and he was like going over all these things, reasons. And he's pulling out reasons that's old and might be. Oh, they might get nuclear weapons. They killed 100 and some U.S. hostages in 1982. And he's just going over all this like old and selling it to the people. He ain't wearing a red. He got a white hat on now with a big USA on it. So yeah, he's really out there trying to sell it to the people.
And this over 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They've been trying to do this for years.
Yeah.
Iran. It just coming out of nowhere. It just anybody believe that this is justified. It's crazy and brainwashed by propaganda.
Yeah.
It's like why are they going to war?
Well, it's prophecy.
Yeah, I mean we know that, but come on.
Well, it's pride. So it's the pride that Esau has, and why they rule the whole earth today. Everywhere they go, they feel like it belongs to them. So Trump also said with Greenland, y'all don't have any type of contract or a deed to the land or whatever. Y'all just kind of stumbled on it however many years ago. Basically, it don't belong to you. We want it. Now, we know that's the same people, but Esau, he's out to get everything. Even I'm going to stumble over my fellow Edomites to be the top Edomite. Esau is a nation of prideful, profane, greedful people that want to be the top dog out of that top nation.
Well, Amalek is at the rule of this nation too. Yeah, I mean, he's still in rule. He's just showing his fist right now. Yeah, I mean, because Donald Trump right now, he ain't lapdog. You know what I mean? He going over there kissing the wall, putting on the small hat and all that good stuff. He's showing you that he in a pocket. We know really behind it all anyway. You know what I mean? So he doing what he supposed to do, be the best damn devil he can be.
Because it all goes up to what the Rothschilds, the one that just died. Those are your rulers of the earth.
The Rothmans, the Oklahomas,
that's the rulers.
The Bushes.
And we see, like you said, that's who Donald Trump is out there hand in hand with right now, who we know is the Amalekites. So we at verse 2.
Verse 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Amen. For the king had so commanded concerning him, but Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment?
Why did Mordecai not bow down to Haman, but everybody else did?
Because go ahead.
Because
it's mainly them first. Because what?
Because it was a statue.
No.
No, he wasn't. No, Haman was the actual man. But I'll just say it real quick, because the righteous don't bow down to nobody but the Most High. We are all flesh, and just because I wear a crown, don't mean you need to bow the knee to me, right?
Yeah.
You understand? But we do know that he is saying for what the heathen did, they'll be licking up the dust of our feet. But that's why he's not bowing to Haman, because we serve the living power. So a righteous man, if you serve the living power, that's who you bow to. So Mordecai wasn't bowing to him. It wasn't in pride. It wasn't into nothing except for the fact of these cats want to be God, and we're not going to give them that. Go ahead.
Verse 4, now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Ammon, to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Ammon saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Ammon full of wrath. And he brought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Ammon sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Asarius, even the people of Mordecai.
Now, why did he find out he was a Jew? Now he wants to destroy everybody. Why? Now he wants to destroy all the Jews. Once he found out Mordecai, he won't bow to me. He didn't just want to kill Mordecai when he found out he was a Jew. He wanted to kill Mordecai's whole nation. Why?
Because all of them were Jews and
yeah, but I'm saying why? Why does he care so much that they're Jews? Now I want to kill the whole nation.
Because he don't want them to not bow down to him.
All right, what about you?
I was gonna say because he wasn't bowing down to him.
Somebody read Amos 1:11. Because what?
Because he wasn't bowing down to him. That's why he tried to kill all of them.
Yeah, that's why he wants to kill Mordecai. So I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all remember this now. I'm gonna show y'all why he wanted to kill Mordecai's whole nation instead of just Mordecai.
Yeah, it's the same hate.
Yeah, it's a hatred that he did
way back.
So yeah, because he's an Edomite. So Amos 1:11.
Chapter 1?
Chapter 1, verse 11.
Okay.
We're gonna be real quick about it.
Amos chapter 1, verse 11.
Bring it on.
Thou sayest the Lord for 3 transgressions
That was good.
of Edom.
So for 3 transgressions, 3 sins, 3 wrongs of Edom, Esau. Go ahead.
Of Edom. And for 4.
And for not just 3, for 4. Go ahead.
I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword.
So way back before it was even any nations, it was the 2 of them. He pursued Jacob with the sword just because he sold him something and he claimed it. So he had a hatred for Jacob. Go ahead.
And did cast all pity in his anger, did tear
perpetually. What's that mean? It's going to tell us as you read. His anger tore perpetually, and what?
And he kept his wrath forever.
So the whole purpose he wants to kill now Mordecai's people when he found out he's a Jew is because there's wrath forever. There's hatred that Esau has forever for Jacob. And that's why here within I'm working on a class about the history they don't want us to know. It's kind of also going along with the fact Donald Trump had he's trying to take down all the history of slaves in America. He had the exhibit in Philly at the old president's, I think George Washington's house, taken down. They want to erase that history so that they can now even promote themselves as being even more greater and not be seen as this hateful nation that destroys every people that they take over and colonialize, and specifically with Black people, Hispanics, Native American Indians, they really hate them. And that shows through the history. And then the way things are today, it's a watered down version of history. So if they can erase that, now you just look at the world like, oh, we just down because we got to be better rappers or whatever. But that's what they're trying to do. So I'm working on a class of going through different books, just bringing out histories they don't want us to know, you know, and because it shows that perpetual hatred. So the history of America shows also shows who's Israel and who's Esau. So that's the main reason they really want to erase that history. Because how do we know who Esau is today? By what they do in the earth. Mm-hmm. And also what they did to the children of Israel. It says in Lamentations that this would be the last captivity of Israel under the Edomites. So they want to erase that history so people would stop waking up to the truth of who they are and coming back to their God, because that means what? Their kingdoms is on a time clock that's almost at zero.
And they endless thoughts that their kingdom shall last forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why. This is why it wasn't. He's not bowing to me like anybody else. He probably would have wanted that specific person. Oh, you ain't bowing to me. I want his head. But once he found out Mordecai's a Jew, that hatred that Esau has for Jacob was inflamed in him. And he says, oh, this Jew won't bow to me, and the rest ain't going to want to bow to me. And I'm trying to get rid of all of them because my fathers hate their fathers, and we need to do away with the children of Israel. Right? So that's why. That's why what you see here, and that's what you see with the history of America even today. Come on. All right, go back.
Verse 7. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pure, that is the lot before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to 12th month, that is the month Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people.
So another thing, all these Edomites are going to be, going to be in the kingdom, and they love God so much. They always hated the laws of God. Part of following Christ, part of coming into this church of Christ, right? And making it into Christ's kingdom. It's you have to love the laws of God. That's what Christ taught. They've always hated the laws of God, and they've always let it be known their laws are diverse from all people. Yeah, and they love to please the flesh. They love filth. They love.
They're fearful because they know the power that comes upon the people who keep the laws, that they can't do anything against.
Mm-hmm. And they know, and because they know they keep the laws, they're on top. Their laws say they're on top. That's part of the law. So, when you show me somebody that doesn't feel that way, then I might, believe it. But I haven't seen it. It's hard enough to see a Israelite that wants to come back and love God and keep his laws. So they hate the laws of God, meaning they hate God. So they hate God. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. And then at the end of the day, they hated it from the door. That's why Esau hated his birthright, because it said that he despised his birthright. When he came in and he wanted to eat, he was like, man, what the hell with his birthright? Because his birthright was the law, statutes, commandment, being the oldest son of Isaac. So just from the door, from that ancestry, they hated that birthright from the get-go. You know what I mean?
Alea. Well, sit up.
Verse 8. Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore, it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business to bring it into the king's treasuries. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Ammon, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee. Then, when the king's scribe called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Ammon had commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of Ahasuerus was it written and sealed with the king's ring.
So Esau, as he does, he gets in good, he makes deals, he's got favor with the king, and now he's utilizing that to destroy the Jews. But that's going to turn on his head. But so now, because the king, he still doesn't know, remember, Mordecai told Esther not to let the king know that you're a Jew. Because Mordecai was wise enough to know, like, if you're not asked or it's not required, you know, a lot of the world, they hate us or they might love us. But it'd be more smart to not show who you are until the proper time. So he doesn't know that Esther is a Jew, and Haman has his favor, and now he's convinced him to put to death the Jews like he's asking. And we're going to see how that goes, how that plays out. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to take the spoil of them for a prey. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people, that they should be ready against that day. The post went out, being hasted by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan. The palace and the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shushan was perplexed.
Okay, so so the post went out. Who knows what that means? The mailmen. They had mailmen back then. They on horseback though, but I see this on movies, so I don't know if they really had it, but you see on like Game of Thrones, they sent out the ravens. But back then they would have postmen basically. They would ride horseback, and it'd be your job to get the message. They would have it, the writing would have a seal on it that everybody knew this is the king's seal. So if it wasn't broken, you know that this message comes directly from the king because his seal's on it. So they would send out the different letters that he signed and sealed, and the different, soldiers or horsemen that was their job. They would get out, so they go into different kingdoms, basically like the post office. So the letters went out, the post service is on the job. They, going door to door, whatever, however you think about it. It's ancient time, but they still had that. Same way we get mail today, they had,
pillar to post.
ancient version of that back in history. So now, you read 15?
Yeah.
Chapter 4.
Verse 4. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth from ashes, and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry, and came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. Mm-hmm. So Esther's maid and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she went and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. Mm-hmm. Then called Esther for Hattach, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know that it was and why it was. Mm-hmm. So Hatch went from to Mordecai unto the street of the city which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay the king's treasuries for the Jews to destroy them. Also, he gave him a copy of the writing of the decree that was given in Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go into under the king to make supplication unto him, and to make requests before him for her people.
Okay, chapter, is that the end of the chapter?
No,
drop.
That's all you need.
Yeah, drop to chapter 5, verse 1. So Esther, she knows what's going on, but she don't really know in depth, because Esther, she's in, she's either in her house or part of the palace that's for her. She don't really know the full goings on with the king and his subjects, like Haman, and what would go on in the office. Like, think about the president, the first lady. Yeah, she's not sitting in at these meetings in the Oval Office. So Esther knows the decree went out, but that's why she tried to send clothing to Mordecai, because he's in sackcloth. She's trying to find out what's going on, and you can't come into the gate unless you gotta look formal attire, right? So that's what happened there. She's trying to find out what's going on with why. She knows that that's my people. They about to destroy my people. I'm trying to find out what's going on. So that's what just happened there. And then Mordecai sent back, and he's going to let her know, which we just read. Yeah, now it's time for you to step up, basically. You the queen. If anybody can get to the king, it's going to be you. So that's where we at in the story. Go ahead.
The book of Esther, chapter 5, verse 1. Now it came to pass on the third day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house over against the gate of the house. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor of the sight, and the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. Mm-hmm. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
And so that just shows also that it's not like these movies where the queen just goes in and she's sitting at the side and ruling with the king. Even the queen had to get basically summoned or permission to come to the king. Like, you wasn't, back in this time, you wasn't this prideful Eve that we see today, just coming in and acting like she's running ish. No, that's not what happened. Go ahead.
Then said the king unto Esther, what wilt thou, Queen Esther? And what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom. Mm-hmm. And Esther answered, it seemed good unto the king. Let the king and Aman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Then the king said, cause Aman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said. So the king and Aman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. Mm-hmm. And the king said unto Esther, at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom, it shall be performed.
And also, you see here that when you actually act like a woman, and like a woman how she's supposed to carry herself, meek and quiet and humble, you gain favor with your husband, with your Lord, right? And that's what you see. He's ready to give her whatever her petition is. He don't even know what it's about to be. He said up to the half of, didn't it just say up to the half of the kingdom? Yeah. Because she's not she ain't no Cardi B. She's not no Lil Kim Queen B.
She don't cook, she don't clean.
Yeah, she's not no deliver me from evil.
Said she prepared the banquet.
Yeah, she's not these loudmouth demon Eves that we have in our nation today.
See, that means she set it up so that he got a nice meal, probably several different dishes, because it say the banquet. You know what I mean? That means the table was laid out for this woman. You know what I mean? She set up and prepared the best dishes, invited this dude in, you know what I mean? And then she gonna say what she gotta say after he this most bountiful meal made by the queen.
Yeah, your power is.
Say what now?
Fattening him up for the king. Kill.
Not even kill. You know what I mean? Just getting right, you know what I mean? Like how marvelous it was, you know what I mean, for the king.
Yeah,
because
like,
he trying to seek the king and obtain his favor.
Women today are so slow, man. Like to get your way, you go into all these antics, cussing your man out, making his life a living hell, just being so unpleasant until you get your way, acting like a little child that had her candy took. That's how we act today, but this is how you can get your way, is by playing your role of being humble, respectful.
This is in actuality something that a man wants to protect. He wants to come home to his woman to be peaceful. He wants to come home and have a nice, bountiful meal prepared for him. He don't want to argue with the woman. He don't want the woman raising her voice. She came in meek and tender and with humility. You know what I mean? And he asked her, what do you want from me to have for the kingdom? Which most men will want. If you do what I say and you come in humble and you meek, I'm going to give you half of my world because you adding to my world. Not what I'm adding to your world, but it's what you adding to my world. You feel what I'm saying? And she was adding that meek, that humbleness, that respect. And she ain't doing what Vashti was doing. Vashti like, yo, I'm not even coming down there. What's wrong with this nigga?
Yep.
And she come and she prepared the whole banquet for him. Respectfully.
And who wants to defend? Why do I need to defend you when you the tough guy? You should be. A lot of these women, you should be defending us. You a whole dragon. You'll scare away a whole block of niggas. But yeah, let's go.
Verse 6. And the king said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the kingdom it shall be performed. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the king and Ammon come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them, and I will do tomorrow as the king hath said.
Just look at how she's talking. Look at how she's stroking his ego. Right? A black woman can't do that.
It's not even black women. It's not even stroking the ego. It's just like total submission.
Yeah, right.
To what he asked her. What is it that you would want from me? You know what I mean? After she say, I've done this, that, and the third for this man. You know what I mean? She came and added that gracious influence that he wanted from a woman that he was lacking. Plus, she came with the beauty on top of it.
And she already see that she got the favor. She, like anybody can see, I already got him in the palm of my hand. But still respectful. Still meek, humble. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Then went Haman forth that day joyful, and with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the king's gate, that he stood not up, nor moved for him, he was full of indignation against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman refrained himself, and when he came home, he sent and called for his friends and Zeresh his wife, And Haman told them of the glory of his riches and the multitude of his children and all the things wherein the king had promoted him, and how he had advanced him above the princes and servants of the king. Haman said, moreover, yea, Esther the queen did let no man come in with the king unto the banquet that she had prepared by myself, and tomorrow am I invited unto her also with the king.
So he don't even know what's going on. He done let his anger get the best of him. He done put out this decree to kill the Jews and don't even realize he getting brought to, he's boasting about being brought to a feast of a Jew that has the favor of his king. He don't even know. So right now he's bragging about the fact that tomorrow he gets to go before the king and this woman, his queen, who just so happens to be of the nation he's trying to destroy. Go ahead.
Yet all this availeth me nothing, so long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king's gate. Then said Zeresh his wife and all his friends unto him, let a gallows be made of 50 cubits high, and tomorrow speak thou unto the king that Mordecai may be hanged thereon. Then go thou in merrily with the king unto the banquet, and the thing pleased Haman, and he caused the gallows to be made.
So now he's making the gallows to hang him Mordecai on. He's excited. He's happy. Tomorrow I'm going for the king and the queen Esther, and I'm a have the gallows made and ready to hit. So when I come out of this banquet, I can hang Mordecai in front of everybody and show how I got such favor with the king and the queen. He's excited. He's excited. He's excited to walk into destruction. Chapter 7. You know, I had it skipped, and for time's sake. It's already set up. I don't remember why. But it's for time's sake.
I think it's important to read it.
What verse?
The chapter 6, because it shows Mordecai unintentionally honoring Haman, and he got the favor.
I'll go there. I just got to pull it up on here then. It's not on the document.
I understand what you're saying.
So what verse we at?
Verse 1.
We're 6.
Yeah.
Oh, we was at chapter 5. All right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You can't add any more though.
No, that's good.
All right.
I just think this is cute.
All right, that's right.
The book of Esther, chapter 6, verse 1. On that night could not the king sleep, and he commanded to bring the book of the records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told of Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hands on King Ahasuerus.
Mm-hmm. So earlier, I'll recap it right quick for everybody, especially you guys. So Mordecai had earlier in the story, he had found out that two chamberlains were, and also in the additions of Esther, I don't think we'll have time to go there. If I do, we will at the end. But they were working with Haman. So the two chamberlains were plotting the death of King Ahasuerus. Mordecai heard them, and he basically informed the king that they was plotting to kill him. So the king had the chamberlains put to death, and he basically saved the king from death. But that's also another reason why Haman was so pissed off at Mordecai, because he knew that Mordecai had told on the chamberlains. They were working together. This was actually remember, in Maccabees, it said, I'm paraphrasing, but it basically kind of said like Alexander the Great had finally beaten the king of Persia. They had been plotting to take over Persia and advance the Edomite kingdom to rule the earth way back in this time.
Because it was all
way back in this, the Macedonians. They was already, really playing their role, their blessing of getting in these kingdoms and rising to the top military-wise. And that's what he's trying to do. He, back in this story, he was already as a Macedonian and Edomite trying to kill the king, put in place the rulership of the Macedonians over the known world at the time. Because that like the kingdom that Alexander the Not Great established was basically taking over this kingdom and then just expanding more. Yeah. So Mordecai, now the king is going through the chronicles and seeing who saved him from that assassination. Y'all understand?
Yeah.
All right.
Verse 3, and the king said, what honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, there is nothing done for him. And the king said, who is in the court? Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had prepared for him. And the king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in.
And this part is good, though. Kind of glad you pulled it. Go ahead.
So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor?
Now, he don't know that he delights in the person that spoiled the assassination attempt. But you know what he's thinking? He's so prideful. He has an ego. He's so prideful. He thinks the king has to be talking about me. So he's about to give the king an answer of what he would wish for the king to do to him. But he's not talking about him. He's talking about Mordecai. Go ahead.
Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself?
Oh, right. See, it says right there. Go ahead.
And Haman answered the king, for the man whom the king delighteth to honor, let the royal apparel be bought, which the king useth to wear, and the horse that the king rideth upon, and the crown royal which is set upon his head.
So nobody's allowed to wear the king's royal garments, ride his horse, and wear his crown. That's why I like Game of Thrones. You see that real good. Like, you got that crown don't go on nobody else's head. That's like disrespect. But he's wishing, since he's about to give him whatever he wants, whoever gets this honor gets to do all these things that nobody gets to do. Basically, be the king for a day. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And let this apparel and horse be delivered to the hand of the one of the king's most noble princes, that they may array the man withal, whom the king delighteth to honor, and bring him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaim before him, thus shall it be done to the man whom the king delighteth to honor. Then the king said unto Haman, make haste and take the apparel and the horse, as thou hast said, and do even to Mordecai the Jew that sitteth at the king's gate. Let nothing fail of all that thou hast spoken.
Oh, y'all hear what just happened? He just told him, he's thinking he's about to get this honor, and he just told him, yeah, have all that done to Mordecai, the man he's trying to kill. Go ahead.
Then took Haman the apparel and the horse, and arrayed Mordecai, and brought him on horseback through the street of the city, and proclaimed before him, thus shall it be done unto the man whom the king delighteth to honor.
So remember, because the king don't even know that it's Mordecai that's the problem with Haman. He's just been convinced to kill the Jews. So he don't even know. The only person that knows like really what's going on right now is Haman, the author of the mischief. So the king's like, okay, give him the honor, and now it's hitting him. He's doing everything he said, but now it's hitting Haman in his mind like, I'm in danger now. It's looking bad. But go ahead.
And Mordecai came again to the king's gate, but Haman hasted to his house mourning, and having his head covered. And Haman told Zerah his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wife, wise men, and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him.
So they already saying, hey, this is bad for you, Haman. Like, We ain't think it was going. I don't know. Tell you, this is looking ugly.
Right here. Right here.
Go ahead.
And while they were yet talking with him, came the king's chamberlain and hasted to bring him on unto the banquet that Esther had prepared.
And talk about bubble guts. Am going through it now? Rightfully so.
And he got the most bountiful meal in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He probably can't even eat it. Things smelling good and right. She prepared it up. No Xerxes about to sit there and taste this food cooked by a nice, strong Hebrew Israelite woman.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know what to do. You know, when our woman cook, everything on that table about to slap for the banquet, everything about to slap. So he feeling some type way right now.
Mm-hmm.
Verse.
He got that feeling of the unknown. He just got that. Look, all the confidence is gone. He got that fear is nothing but a betraying of the succors which reason offered. All the succors have gone. He's lost all the succors that reason offers.
Nothing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The book of Esther, chapter 7, verse 1. So the king and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the queen. And the king said again unto Esther on the second day at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition, Queen Esther? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed even to the half of the kingdom. Then Esther the queen answered and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O king, and if it please the king, let my life be given me at my petition and my people at my request. For we're sold, I and my people, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish. But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen, I had held my tongue, although the enemy could not countervail the king's damage. Then the king Ahasuerus answered and said unto Esther, the queen, who is he? And where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
Mm-hmm. Watch this.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy is the wicked Haman.
Oh, he's done.
He's
done. Like mentally, he's already dead spiritually.
Yep, his heart done dropped in his sock like that.
Like
at that moment, he's sitting at the table, he's sipping on the wine. He done spit the wine out.
You hoping for a 360, but you stop halfway. You only get that 180. I was about to go around the block, but then boom.
Yep, he got the drizzle.
Reality just stopped me in halfway. Everything turned the whole 180. Go ahead, right on his head.
And Esther said, the adversary and enemy of is the wicked Haman. Then Haman was afraid before the king and the queen. And the king arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath went into the palace garden. And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Esther, the queen. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the king. Then the king returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine. And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Esther was.
So he's begging for his life. He's falling on the bed. Oh, please, 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 please! I didn't mean it. Please, I'll never do it again. I'll be your. I'll clean up your pig pens. Just don't kill me. Go ahead.
Then said the king, will he force the queen also before me in the house? As the word went out of king's mouth. Then covered Haman's face.
They covered his face. So now they came in. You ever seen before you get hung in the movies?
They put that potato sack on his head.
Yep, they came in, grabbed him up, covered his head. Now it's just the walk of death. Go ahead.
And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the king, behold, also the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai, who had spoken good for the king, standeth in the house of Haman. Then the king said, hang him thereon. So they hanged Haman on the gallows. that he had prepared for Mordecai. Then was the king's wrath pacified.
This is why you don't move in haste and you don't do things off of emotions. You do things with wisdom and you do things righteously and always should have a mind that the Most High, he's going to reward me for godliness or he's going to reward me for wickedness. And that's what's happening. He had all these wicked inventions and he thought everything was going to go to plan. He was boasted up because of his position and he ain't even expect this to turn on his head like that. All off of working off of what? His anger, his wrath, his hatred, and his emotions. And that's what happened. It'll happen.
Didn't he kill the rest of his family?
We're about to get there, but yeah, let's go. 8 and 1.
The book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 1. On that day did King Ahasuerus give the house of Haman, the Jews' enemy, unto Esther, the queen, and Mordecai came before the king, for Esther had told what he was unto her. And the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai. And Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman.
So mine was number what? 2. Most High put you up. Most High make things happen for you and have you right underneath the number 1 in the whole kingdom.
Yep, just like Daniel too.
Yeah, just off of you moving in righteousness and faith.
Yep.
Even in captivity. Go ahead.
Yep, and then Yaquab said like Joseph too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He got put in jail and then he got raised up too, so he could spare his brothers during the famine.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Continuous.
Yep. So he might have meant it for evil, but the Most High, he meant it for good.
Yep. And he does that, and he does that for.
Ain't that something?
And we here in America, they telling us don't got to keep the law, and the devil wants you to keep the commandments. But all through the scriptures, you see that this is the people that follow his ways and are faithful and obedient and righteous. They get raised up. But see, our pastors, they've been taught by who?
Our enemies.
Our enemies. And they're furthering that agenda.
Our imams too. Our Muslim
And
imams
that too.
taught by the enemy.
That too. They got you thinking, they got you thinking that, yeah, you're godly because you got a little more discipline in life, while they telling you Jesus ain't your king, he's just a prophet, it's Muhammad. So now they can draw you off the path. But because you follow off, you judge by eyesight, you're like, man, they look like they look righteous, they look godly. Look at them long garments, they clean and white, they just look like godly people. But God said fast has a feast day for fasting. You throwing that out the window to keep a month of daytime fasting.
What tripped me out, you see him walking around with the hijab on, but then you still walking around with leggings on.
Mm-hmm.
You still walking around with leggings on.
You keep in Ramadan, but then when what's next? You gonna keep July 4th cookout. You keep in Ramadan, but you putting
Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, and you putting trees presents under the tree.
Just wait until after Ramadan, the Eid is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be fighting and shooting each other.
Mm.
That's what happens all the time.
All the time.
They do it.
That's a fact.
They had a big shootout and fight right after the Ramadan.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, right after Ramadan, it's like, oh, Ramadan over. It's time to hate your brother again.
Yeah,
and kill him.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's backwards with them. Man. I don't understand.
And
known as the wild man in the Bible.
Yeah,
the Arabs.
So you taking on that spirit of the wild man.
Yeah, and that's like, all right, I'm not going to do this because the white man gave it to me, but then I'm going to run to the Arab.
That gave it to you before the white man.
Right.
Did.
I'm going to run to the Arab.
That took over Mauritania and Northern Africa when we ruled as so-called Hebrews. And Muhammad was a camel jockey and he was up under the so-called Hebrews and learning what he learned and then tried to create his own spin-off religion and then got mad when we didn't follow behind him.
I don't get it. What makes you look at the Arabs and say that's who God chose to forward his worship, to forward his worship in the earth? I don't get it.
The same Arabs that come over here and selling you sliced pork chops and Newports and stuff and saying, I gotta feed my family. But what about our family? Ain't we supposed to be ox? You put the Quran behind your back, then.
And a lot of people only can. I don't know why they missed the point that Muhammad was also an Edomite. I don't understand that. Why they don't get that.
That's a whole nother thing. I mean,
you still serve the white man no matter which side you go on.
Yeah. What about the fact he married a 6-year-old, consummated at 9?
Well,
consummated at 9. I don't. It's a lot, but let's not veer off too far though.
Yeah.
We got to finish this our feast day out and that history, yeah. But so we're at 8-1, right? No, we're past that. 8-4. All right, read. Go ahead, pick back up.
Okay. And then the king took off his ring, which he had taken from Haman, and gave it unto Mordecai, and Esther set Mordecai over the house of Haman. And Esther spake yet again before the king, and fell down at his feet, and besought him with tears to put away the mischief of Haman, the Agagite, and his device that he had devised against the Jews. Then the king held out the golden scepter toward Esther. So Esther arose and stood before the king, and said, if it please the king, and if it have found favor in his sight, and the thing seem right before the king, and I be pleasing in his eyes, let it be written to reverse the letters devised by Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, which he wrote to destroy the Jews which are in all the king's provinces. For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people, or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? Then the king Ahasuerus said unto Esther, the queen, and to Mordecai, the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews. Write ye also for the Jews, as it liketh you, in the king's name, and seal it with the king's ring, for the writing which is written in the king's name, and sealed with the king's ring, may no man reverse.
Read.
Then were the king's scribes called at the time in the 3rd month, that is the month Sivan, on the 23rd day thereof, and it was written according to all that Mordecai commanded unto the Jews, and to the lieutenants, and the deputies, and rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces, unto every province according to the writing thereof, and unto every people after their language, and to the Jews according to their writing and according to their language. And he wrote in the king Ahasuerus' name, and sealed it with the king's ring, and sent the letters by post on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries.
You just read 9, right? Now, it's from what I'm seeing and understanding that this was written in all different languages for each province. Is that what they're saying there?
Yeah.
Most likely, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it will be no misunderstanding.
He's sending it out to the past letters sent out. Everybody got those posts, those letters. He's sending new letters out to all the same people.
From Ethiopia to India, that means all the Mediterranean, all throughout Arabia.
Yeah, but each letter will be in their language.
Yeah, because he rules over all these different nations in different languages.
Yeah, and he got chamberlains probably that's in each one of these provinces that speak the language and the Persian language too.
Yeah, like now they call them embassies.
All
right. 11.
Verse 11, wherein the king granted the Jews which were in every city to gather themselves together and to stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and province that would assault them, both little ones and women, and to take the spoil of them for prey.
So real quick, per means lot. So the reason, pay attention, the reason the feast is called Purim is because it's the Purim means the lot. So the lot was the Jews would die. But the Most High flipped it on the Esau, and everybody else that had got the letters was set to put to death the Jews in their provinces. He flipped the lot and put it on the Gentiles, the heathens, for them to be put to death by the Jews. So that this feast day is about our possible destruction being flipped and destroying everybody that came against the apple of God's eye. That's the Feast of Purim.
And Salakia, verse 11, don't that also confirm these are Jews scattered in all these lands?
Oh, yeah.
And that's the languages also that these Jews would have been speaking when you read in 9?
Probably, because it also said, right, send the letters in the Jews' language. Yeah. But we know, so you're scattered, but even the ones that speak the Jew language, I would say some wouldn't know it. Okay. So I'm with you. This is one that I got. This is one I got in my bag too. That's, you know, they all over the scriptures from the law. You know, we be talking about it. You get cut off from your people. What are you? Exactly. It's all over the Bible.
Well, no letter sent to Khazarian.
Well, even if it was, it's saying the Jews would have been there.
Yeah.
It's saying the Israelites would have been there.
Exactly.
In verse 11.
They scattered everywhere.
Yeah. Basically what it's saying.
Because every province these letters are going to, they started as letters destroying the Jews that's there. Now it's Jews that's there. Y'all can kill whoever's going to kill you. It's Jews scattered everywhere.
Huh.
And this is just dealing with the Jews. What about Northern Kingdom? See that? So go ahead.
Verse 12. Upon one day, all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely upon the 20th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, the copy of the writing for commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people.
So 13th day of the 12th month. Our last new moon was for the 12th month. And the feast is 13 days later, or what it's going into. That's how you get the time for Feast of Purim. The Passover is the 14th day of the first month. That's why now it's the month before we in Purim. Purim is the 12th month. Go ahead.
And that the Jews should be ready against the day to avenge themselves on their enemies. So the posts that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed on by the king's commandment, and the decree was given at Shushan the palace.
Read.
And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple. And the city of Shushan rejoiced and was glad. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. And in every province and in every city whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
And what's that mean? They became Jews? Converts. Proselytes. So let's prove that. So where it says you go on your blue letter Bible, you can see the original text that it was translated from, and you go to where it says they became Jews. The word there is different from the other word. So the other word, so the word for the Salakia. So I got it on the screen. Is in the wrong order. So if you look at the first one I got up there, that's for the part where it says the fear of the Jews fell upon them. That's the real Jew, and the word is Yahweh Adadia. or it says in their Hebrew, Yehudi, right? And the Hebrew text is right there on the screen. That's for a ethnic Jew. And then on next to it on the screen, that's in the Blue Letter Bible for many of the people in the land became Jews. That word is Yahad. See, it's two different Hebrew words, and that one means to become a Jew in fact or in fraud. Become Judaized. So they took on the customs because they see these cats, they've been given a license to kill everybody that's against them. They're in favor with the king, and I don't want to die.
So I'm gonna become a fake Jew.
I'm gonna do what they doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna become a fake Jew.
I'm gonna take on your religion, not you can't take on your race. I can take on your customs, your religion. Because religion is basically how you serve your God, whether it's false gods, real gods. That's what religion is. Your way of serving. Like a lot of people always, they like we don't do religion. I mean, yeah, we do. It's the law is our religion, and even the Bible says that. But that's what they did. They changed their religion to be in favor with the people that's got favor with the king, that's got license to kill anything. So that's what happened there.
It's like Revelation 2 and 9,
And it's funny, Salaki. It's funny that it says in fraud for that definition because it's not genuine.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling you it's not genuine.
It's telling you they know it ain't genuine.
Yeah, like you're doing it because it benefits you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing it because you truly want to keep the commandments and follow the Most High.
Right.
You're doing it for fake reasons.
Yeah.
but
It's not because you didn't see the Jews not eating pork and shrimp, crab, and lobster and be like, man, I want to give that up too. No, you saw it was in fraud. You saw what was happening, and like you said.
Well, it was sent out like, okay, wanted, dead. That was the creed that they put out, and all of a sudden now they had to change their identity.
Yeah, like how did this happen? Oh, we gotta roll with them.
So I mean,
look what they're capable of. They was doomed to death, and now everybody that got that letter and armed up, now they about to die.
Yeah, and then you got brothers out here trying to teach it and flip it a different way, trying to make it like, oh, see, they can become Jews and get the kingdom.
Yeah, let's not even go into that, but yes, exactly. So, chapter 9. Chapter 9, verse 1.
The book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the 12th month, that is the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in that day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt, and no man could withstand them, for the fear of them fell upon all people. And all the rulers of the provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and the officers of the king helped the Jews become the fear of Mordecai fell upon them.
Mm-hmm.
For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces. For this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater. Thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughter and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hated them.
Mm-hmm.
And in Shushan, the palace, the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men. And Pashadatha, and Dalphon, and Aspartha, and Paratha, and Adalia, and Aradatha, and Permashta, and Arisai, and Aradai, and Vejazatha.
Hey, you think about it, this is just in the palace. That would be like, they're not just killing nobodies. that would be like today, the Most High sending the Jews into the Congress, into the Senate House. That's what's happening. Go ahead.
The 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hamadatha, the enemy of the Jews, slew they, but on the spoil laid they not their hand.
And somebody's got, now that they are being put to death, somebody's got to replace them in these positions. Who you think that's going to be? Other Jews. Mordecai's number 2, Esther's the queen, and you got 500 openings in the palace. Go ahead.
And the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan, the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is thy petition, and it shall be granted thee? Or what is thy request further, and it shall be done? Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow also according unto this day decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. And the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan. But on the prey they laid not their hand. But the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 75,000. But they laid not their hands on the prey. On the 13th day of the month Adar, and on the 14th day of the same rested they, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
So that's why Purim is a 2-day feast, the 13th and 14th of Adar. So that, like I said, brought out at the beginning of the class, that's for us, the 3rd and 4th. Come on. Go ahead.
But the Jews that were in Shushan assembled together on the 13th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Therefore the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwalled towns made the 14th day of the month Adar a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and of sending portions one to another. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all.
Scratch what I just said. It's about to be, it's going to give us something different. But 2 days, but scratch the days I said, not 13, 14. Go ahead.
And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
We just read it just for everybody. This also is, if there's a feast day that we have for giving gifts, you know, instead of doing gifts under the Christmas tree, you can give gifts on Purim. That's what, so my bad on stopping you, but so the 14th day was a day of gladness, feasting, a good day, and sending portions. You just read 19, and sending portions one to another. But my bad if I went early. So keep going.
To establish this among them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same yearly.
So 14th and 15th, not 13th, 14th. Go ahead.
As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another and gifts to the poor. Mm-hmm. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them.
So then, if possible, it's also a good time to not just giving gifts amongst yourselves, if able, to get out and give something to the poor. And you know, that'd be dope if we could do something. You know, we'll talk about that. But if we could do something like that,
We went to
that'd be dope too.
Breakfast Mission.
Yeah, and like now we know we got that tent city, but we'll talk about that. But this would be a good feast to go, give a little something to them, like kind of how we did at the coat drive. But nonetheless, so this would be a feast of feasting, giving portions to each other that you can do gift giving and give back to the poor. Like I think they might have stole that idea that the Catholic Church, when they made this whole Christmas thing, they probably stole it from Purim.
They probably did because this is the 12th month, and that's their 12th month.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean?
Because it was a blending. So they still stole the Saturnalia. They still stole everything from Babylon. But then they also saw in the Bible, oh, look, they giving gifts on, like you said, the 12th month. And they give it to the poor. Let's institute that in our little religion to deceive the world.
And then in the Maccabees, the Feast of Dedication is 25th day of Caslu. So they put that on their 25th day around the solstice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it all makes sense.
Because they not the originators of nothing but wickedness.
Remember,
if anything they originated, that's what they originated.
Remember, Saturnalia starts 12 days, I believe, before Christmas. That's why it's 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
That's all Saturnalia. It really starts before the 25th. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they do it up to the 25th.
Yeah, like they just, they not the salt of the earth, they the bland rice of the earth.
The bland rice.
Yeah, let's go.
And the Jews, verse 23. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them, because Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast Pur, that is the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which is devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Wherefore they called these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and come unto them, the Jews obtained and took upon them and upon their seed, and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. Then Esther the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus, with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim and their time appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book.
Read 10, 1-3.
The book of Esther, chapter 10, 1-3. And the king of Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of the might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai whereunto the king advanced him. Are they not written 10 in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? For Mordecai, the Jew, was next unto King Ahasuerus, and so great among the Jews. 2.
All right. And great among Jews. Go ahead.
And accepted of the multitude of his brethren.
Now, him being put up in this position, let's see if he became prideful. Let's see if he wanted to disrespect all his peoples that wouldn't join in his school or his his beliefs or whatever, or debate everybody and just try to show how he's so much better. Let's see, how did Mordecai take being placed in this position? It's about to tell the same verse. Go ahead.
For Mordecai the Jew was next unto the king, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed.
So he wasn't coming at his people. He wasn't trying to gather his people and make sure they underneath of his leadership. He did what a leader actually does. He didn't seek to be viewed as some like godlike figure. He seek for his people's wealth. He did what Christ said a leader is supposed to do. He that is greatest among you shall be the greatest servant among you, paraphrasing. I just had to say that because we see none of us even got power like that. But we see just how much it goes to a nigga's head when you get a following. And it's not supposed to be so. But that's the reading that's why we celebrate Purim. That's the history of it. We actually made perfect timing with that reading because we're an hour 51 minutes in. That was good. I hope that the class was edifying. I hope everybody enjoys their Feast of Purim. Whether some people are keeping it the first and second, third. Some people already did it. I hope your feast was, like the scriptures say, joyous, gladful, blessed, all that. So before we close out, like we kind of started at the beginning of the class, Passover, if you're going to come out, you want to keep the Feast of Passover with us, make sure you RSVP. If you're able, if you're a visitor and you're able, donate $20 per individual or $50 per family at the minimum, if possible. If you can't afford it, but you want to keep the feast with us, then, still RSVP and come out. And the Cash App is across the bottom of the screen, #, Hebrew Chosen Elect, earmark it Passover. And also we do always ask regular alms to help out our ministry because, everything costs, streaming, flyers, you name it, traveling. If it's in your heart to donate, help us out, hit the Cash App and throw out in advance. Anybody got anything to add before we close out? No. All right. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, all praise, glory, and honor Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Shabbat Shalom and Kwam Yashala.